Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all the bots tuning in live, and hello to all of those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube. However you watch, I'm thankful for your viewership. My name is Lloyd, and I'm an artist, and I create really crazy, colourful abstracts on iPad, which is rather cool. Today we're actually going to be working on a sketch that I was working on, or I started 2 weeks ago. So this stream will be pretty much me finishing off this piece. So for those who missed the stream a couple of weeks ago, basically it was me trying to make a desktop background, which is also a smartphone background. So the idea is that, like if you put it in a horizontal mode, it'll be like a desktop background that fits like a standard sort of HD kind of sort of dimensions. And if you have it in portrait, it'll kind of look rather nice on a mobile, which is kind of cool. So it won't sort of disrupt the visuals at the top there, like the time or anything like that. In the previous stream, I actually chose this crazy color scheme. And it kind of reminded me of the Yellow Submarine like cartoon that came out way back in the day. Looking back at it for the first time after a good week, I can't stand this color scheme. It's not unusual, sometimes that happens. Maybe you're just feeling a different mood, I don't know. But I do like the orange and the pink. I kind of like that. I'm not sure if I'll stick with it, but I do like that color scheme. But I suppose the big thing I'll do, probably to start off with, is I'll once again work on my outline. So I'll probably keep adding little elements. Well, no, I'll definitely do that. I'll add more sort of blocks and shapes to this background. And then maybe at the end we can kind of figure out what colors we want to do. So that sounds like the plan. So yeah, let's get started. Let's do it. Let's bring up a cool funky overlay. Let's bring this old thing up. There we go. That's cool. I like this one. I call this one, what do I call this actually? Purple Swirl. Very neat. Okay, let's do it. So the first thing I'll do, I'm going to hop into this new layer I created that I call Outline 2, because I'm super creative with my layer names. I'm going to try and find, I might bring up monoline eraser. I don't know why I called that eraser. I might go this one, Studio Pen for illustrating. I think that's what I was using last time. So what I'm doing is I'm actually trying to find the right shape, the right size line. That looks pretty good. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, a little bit bigger. There you go. Look at this thrilling content watching me draw a line. Okay, so the plan originally is to sort of make it, and I'll just solo this layer. This is kind of like my guiding layer. So what I don't want is for anything to obscure the time here in this mobile background. And this line is sort of where I'm going to have my shapes go up to. I don't want it to go beyond that. In regards to colors, not sure yet, but this is, I think the most important thing is to get my sort of general composition down. If I can do that, then I think I'm gold. So where should I begin? Do I fill in this little gap on the side here, or do I go right up the top? I'm feeling a bit sort of completionist. This bit annoys me the most, so I'm going to do that. And I think I just changed the brush size again just to annoy everyone. Let's go, we'll show that layer. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so what type of shape? Well, it's going to be a block. And because I want to keep, because I definitely want to keep them sort of all blocks, I want to do this. I just want to fill in that shape somehow. So, I'm trying to decide if I want to do sort of like a roundish cylindrical shape like that, or if I want to maybe do just another kind of block that sort of points maybe in this direction. Maybe, let's try a cylinder. Let's see how that looks. So I'm going to go like this. There we go. I might edit that so it's a little bit more narrow. I don't want to go too far outside of this sort of grey line here. That's sort of the guide for my mobile background. So I'm going to go like this. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll sort of do a sneaky little dent into that little square opening there. This may or may not work, but I say that every stream and it sort of gets there in the end. It's a bit sort of hacky. My art style is very hacky and slashy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in the end, it tends to look, it looks workable. Okay, let's go like that. And I'll rotate this a little bit. So I want to try and keep that sort of same circular shape. Okay, let's go like so. Awesome. And I'll probably polish off that line in a few moments. No, I'll do it now. Why not? There we go. And then I'll bridge these two together with a correct sized line. Oop, there we go. Probably needs to be a bit thicker actually, but that's all right. If I can just get this one down first. Cool. I kind of like that actually. That suits me fine. I think the cylindrical shape makes a nice change because I've already got a lot of blocky elements here. I like to sort of play around with contrasting things. So if I have too many, like even with color, if I have like a big green color, I'll try and put a blue or something right next to it. But yeah, it's hard to say. It depends on the artwork as well. Let's go like that. We'll create another circle. And then we'll bridge that to the side. Cool. Awesome. So it's been a pretty weird week for Lloyd artists. I suppose the good news is I've finally got my second dose of vaccine, which is really cool. Been wanting that for ages. In Melbourne, it's been hard to get it because our Prime Minister hasn't been the most diligent in getting vaccines quickly. Just like he hasn't really been doing anything quickly, really. I don't think he's the most loved person in the country, although, I don't know. He'll probably still win the next election somehow. I think it's obvious that I'm kind of a die-hard Green supporter. And, you know, I try to keep an open mind, but I'm always well aware that in the end of the day, like my parents were sort of Green voters as well. And it certainly does influence your vote, you know. Who your parents voted for does usually influence your vote as well. And of course it does. As it would. A part of me wants to do something different than just a standard circle in the middle there. A part of me wants to kind of do something like this. Or maybe I could put a triangle. Like that. Not too even, but a little bit weird. Should I do that? Decisions. What we'll do, you know what? I'll add a circle again. But this time. So I'll match it up with this circle for consistency. There we go. But I'm not going to make a hole. I'm actually going to make a little, I'm going to make it point out a little bit. Let's see how this works. So if I go like that, I've really got to invest in a new chair. Like, it's occurred to me that the soundtrack of my streams is basically just me and my creaky chair creaking away in the back there. It wasn't really the sound I wanted for my streams, but what can you do? Let's go. Oh, you know what? I could actually just copy that because for some reason I put that in the layer, the original sketch layer. So it's pasted. There we go. I had a bit of lag there. You might have noticed. My iPad's getting on, but it's still doing strong. And it's still got a bit more meat in it left to go. A bit more life. Meat? That's not a saying. I think I just made that up. Okay, let's go. I want to get rid of this line because that's shouldn't be seen. See, I'm going to have like a little disc sort of poking out there. And I shall go like that. Yeah, so I got my second shot. Haven't had any of the weird side effects that a lot of my friends claim to have. Like no flu symptoms or anything. They're not like anti-vaxxers or anything, I should say. They're just, I don't know. They just were warning me in advance. You could feel this, and I felt none of it. Nothing like that at all. I must say, I feel like this one was a lot less of a deal than the first one. Like, it was sort of done in a blink of an eye, and there was no real sort of, there wasn't a huge amount of formality around it, which was, I suppose, good. I think it matched matched my mood. I just sort of rocked up casually. Very cool. So I'm adding a bit of lines here to try and emphasize the roundness of the shape, and that's kind of consistent with the rest of the sketch as well. So I'm using these lines to try and emphasize things like shadow, not even shadow, but just sort of shape really. And if I do that, I think it'll look kind of cool. There we go, let's go like this. So for those who are new to my channel and my brand and everything I am, I do a variety of things. So first of all, I do these streams, and this is becoming kind of my focus at the moment. And so every time I stream on Twitch, you'll actually be able to find the recorded version, not only on Twitch for the first couple of days, but you'll actually be able to find the recorded version on YouTube as well. So if you miss anything, or you kind of want to see, well, that's a bit off, isn't it? I feel like I kind of warped that shape a bit. I'm going to undo. There we go. But yeah, if you miss one of my streams, it's not the end of the world. You can actually catch up all of my content. Yeah, just on YouTube. And to find that, I should show you. It's all on my website. So my website is mlloydartist.com, and it's actually pretty cool. So I kind of treat my website a little bit like an art piece. So basically, yeah, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see not only my products, Skillshare, Instagram, all those kind of options, but you'll see a big button saying live. So when you click that, it actually takes you not only to my Twitch channel, which is what you might be watching this on now, or it actually also takes you to my YouTube channel. So if I click this, it takes you to a playlist which shows you pretty much all the streams that I've made, and get to see all my cool thumbnails. And that's the thing I'm most proud of, making all my thumbnails. I'm still kind of going with this weird sequential naming of my streams. I realize they're actually in the wrong order looking at them now, but that's certainly a thing. I'm wondering how long I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to run out of digits if I reach if I reach 999 streams, then I'll run out of digits, and then I'll have to rethink my naming strategy. But let's see if I actually make it that far yet. Okay. What I'm going to do, because I'm a bit aware that I was sort of going off shape. Yeah, sort of off shape before. And so I'm going to grab this circle. And I might actually, yeah, you know what, I'll do this in a separate layer, because this is actually going to be a thing that guides me. So it's going to guide my line somewhat. So I'm just drawing a circle, using quick shape to sort of snap it into place. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag it down, just like that. And then I'm going to duplicate it. Then I'm going to pull it down again. And because the shape is getting narrower, I also have to make sure that I make this narrow as well. And if you think this makes no sense whatsoever, that's fine. It should make sense in a few moments. I'm actually also doing this for another. I also feel like this is a little bit out, so hopefully this will help me kind of get it in the right space. So let's do that. So it kind of looks a bit like a sort of spring at the moment, which is okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my outline a little less, my main outline, a little less opaque, and I'm going to merge all these circles together. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my outline, and because I can clearly see those circles, I'm going to sort of smooth this off. And so the reason I'm doing that is I kind of want to align it to this sort of main circle that I created, that sort of, that part where it sort of bends. So that's the goal. Ooh, I'll fix that up. Now for my spring, I'm also going to just change that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. And this spring actually won't be in the final sketch. The reason it's there at all, it's actually to just guide my lines, basically. Because sometimes when you're doing these lines, you can kind of go off the actual, yeah, you can kind of, I don't know, your mind kind of slips a bit and you lose track of the actual shape that you're supposed to be adhering to. And I feel like circles are often a little bit trickier than squares and things like that. Cool. And what I can do, I can actually copy this. And I can actually go like that, even for just for more clarity. Cool. And I'll merge those two together. I'll make this one opaque. Actually, before I do, what I'll also do, I'll get rid of this bit because that might distract me. So really, it's just a guide. Cool. That should help me stay in alignment with the actual circle. So I'm going to make this super faint, just like that. And I'm going to create a layer over the top, just in case after all that I still balls it up. I'm going to try and get the right line, the line that sort of matched before. And yeah, already this is helping me massively stay in relative line with the actual shape. It's okay to go a little bit off with my art style every now and then, as long as you can sort of get right back to where you were. I like sort of warping shapes a little bit by sort of creating incorrect dimensions, but I don't want to do it too much, and especially for this sketch, it's not really what I was going for. Not, well, this particular cylinder anyway. Okay, let's take a drink. I've given up tracking my water. That was the thing I was doing for a while, and yeah, I don't know, I didn't really see much of a benefit to it. There probably is. There's probably huge health benefits, but I'm just not aware of what. I just don't think they really had an effect on me. Let's do that. I'm also very well aware that this shape here is very choppy, so I'm going to fix that if I can as well. Well, I might do that in a separate layer so I don't disrupt this line. I'm going to fix up a few of these lines which just aren't curving around enough, because you can still go a little bit out, but I suppose the difference is now I actually know when I'm going out of line, when I'm going out of perspective, so to speak. Cool. And that, I reckon, is my cylinder. I might even see if I can add, I'm trying to decide with this little top bit, do I go like that? Or do I maybe go like, I think I liked it before. I'm going to go like that. Cool. So I'm going to see how this looks with the actual outline. We'll remove that little spring guide I had earlier. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of cool. I just need to thicken out this bottom line. So let's do that now. could have just done like a circle and a separate layer, but I don't know, I was feeling lazy. Cool. Not bad. It's certainly something. Whether it works in the overall composition of the thing, it's hard to really say, but hopefully when we fill out the rest of this, it might start looking a bit better. I kind of wanted it to fit in with the rest of the actual artwork, so I didn't want it to sort of go outside of the mobile art thing, but I might have put that a bit too close now that I think about it. Oh well, we'll figure it out. If it doesn't work, we can always add more to it, maybe add like another shape sticking out, because there's also this little empty bit here which just doesn't feel quite right, but we'll work it out. Sometimes this particular art style is a little bit trial and error, a bit hacky, and you just got to sort of try different shapes and see how they work. Now what I want to do, I want to try and start off with this top part of the mobile background. Oh, I'm going off camera here, look at this. Let's go back. The chair's creaking away like mad. I feel like I need to oil it. So I can kind of, I've made a rule for myself where I am actually allowed to go beyond the line. But it's sort of functioning as a rough guide more than anything. So here we go. So I've been playing a lot of Mafia 3. I think I've almost finished actually, because in Mafia 3 you have to clear all these districts and sort of assign them to different people. And I think I've actually finished. I'm just about to finish the last district, and I think there's only 2 other sort of weird main missions that come after it. But I'm really loving the game. It's a lot of fun. And for those who don't know what it is, it's basically just if you know what Mafia 2 is, it's a little bit like that, I imagine, but it's sort of set in 1960s. I'm trying to think of what country it's based in. I think it's New Orleans. But it's got this really cool sort of bayou swamp area. And yeah, it's really sick. I like it. It's a great game. But it got really reviewed badly when it came out. And I think that was unjustified, quite frankly. I thought it deserved better. Cool, let's have a look. Do I like that shape? I don't know. I don't like the fact that it's touching this. I think that's breaking a rule that I was sort of making with this sketch. Maybe if I just sort of cut that like so. Yeah, let's bring it back. Let's erase that. And then what we'll do. Yeah, okay. I think this will work. It's also occurred to me that I think I am using a much thicker line. So what I shall do, I'm going to grab this whole shape here. I'm going to minimize it. So I'm actually going to go like that. And then the lines will actually fit the same size. So it's a bit cheaty, but oh well. In fact, what I'll do, an even better idea, I'm going to undo what I was doing there. Then I'm going to take the whole thing, sort of minimize it now. And then I can kind of, yeah, I think this will work. I'm going to go like that. No, I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go like so, minimize my line so it actually matches the rest of the artwork. There we go. Cool. So on Wednesday nights, I'm sort of just doing anything at the moment, just doing whatever I'm feeling, whatever sort of slips into the inspiration, whatever I feel inspired to do. And on Friday nights, I'm doing this thing called doodle blobs. So doodle blobs, I'm really enjoying that actually. And I sort of do one doodle blob a week. And if you're wondering what is a doodle blob, well, let me show you. A doodle blob is, let's see if I can find it. It's actually one of these. So this is actually one I did, I think 2 weeks ago. but I also made one last week which looked like this. So they're really cool, intricate, detailed kind of blobs, and they're a lot of fun to make. So the idea is that each doodle blob will go into its designated place on this big poster that I'm making. And so like this is the poster so far. So these are all the doodles to be the blobs to be doodled, not the doodles to be blobbed. The blobs to be doodled. And yeah, so not tomorrow night, but the night after tomorrow, I'll be creating one of these. I'll be sort of doing another doodle blob. I think I'll do this one because I want to kind of finish off this top part and sort of move my way down. That seems like a lot of fun. But it's coming along nicely, and yeah, it's something very therapeutic about it. It's a little bit like just doodling, but I try to do it kind of in a weird 3D manner. And so that's something I'm certainly excited to do. But let's work on this one. Let's get this one done. That's my goal for tonight, to try and finish this sketch. And I'm already taking a bit of time doing it. But, oh well, that's fine. So I'll add a few lines here, like so. So trying to keep it consistent with the rest of the sketch. So I don't want to do any organic shapes in this one. I just want to do these sort of weird blocky kind of shapes. So I've got like a sphere in there, and I've got a lot of like cubic kind of things, but you'll see no sort of vines or tentacles or anything like that, which is what I usually do in my artwork. So I usually pop a lot of those in. But with this one, I'm just keeping it super simple. There's this other really cool thing I'm working on at the moment, and it's probably a while before I actually start showcasing any of this stuff on stream. But what it is, it's basically a random generator. So the idea is that it's a random generator that basically gives me instructions on what to draw. And so when I am sort of maybe running low on ideas, or maybe I'll make I don't know, every Monday night or something, I'll do a stream of randomly generated sketches. So basically I'll just press a button and it'll say draw a sphere or draw a cube, and then I'll draw that. And then I press another button, it'll go add a vine or melt that sphere. And slowly but surely it ends up creating this really cool thing. I sort of played around with a sort of prototype version of it early in the year, and it was a lot of fun. It creates some really unusual sketches. But I'm sort of reworking it. I want to make it more polished and more interesting, and perhaps more, I don't know, easy to follow. Because there are a lot of things that about the previous one I just didn't like as much. I like the idea of having another pyramid kind of object here. So I'm going to do that. It's kind of funny. The only time in which there's an overlap is here, here, and here. Everywhere else, all the shapes are kind of trying to separate from each other. But at the same time, a bit of overlap does look pretty cool sometimes. So maybe I'll do more of that. Okay, this time I'm going to put a circle, but I'm going to do it here in the side of a pyramid, like that. And I'm tempted to make this sort of like a diamond. So I'm thinking of going like this, but I'm not sure. I'm not sold on the idea yet. I'll have to see it first. And if I go like that, do I like that? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I like that. Maybe maybe I'll polish it up a bit. And what if I do something really weird here and I go like this? You're probably thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I'm basically chopping this bottom part of the pyramid in half. Like this. So it's sort of a bit like a trapezoid now, sort of an upside down trapezoid. And then what I'm thinking of doing is drawing a sort of cube This may or may not work. I'm still sort of undecided on this pyramid thing. But you know what? Maybe it is kind of working. If I go like that. For some reason, it's giving me lots of vibes from Doctor Who. It just reminds me of, for some reason, of like some kind of Dalek or... yeah, I don't know why. It just gives me that kind of vibe. I used to be a huge fan of Doctor Who, but then I sort of got over it. Let's have a look. I think I was big when we had like Christopher Eccleston, and David Tennant. They were my favorites. I thought they were super cool. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like now a lot of these storylines are either a little bit too political, or sometimes they just get really weirdly esoteric. And it's just like, I don't know. Just give me an adventure. I enjoy the adventurous kind of Doctors, where they'd sort of go to a weird planet and like, I don't know, there was just an alien or something. Just sort of wreaking havoc. Those simple storylines, in my opinion, were always the best. It's yeah, and you sort of see the characters develop over the course of the episode, kind of thing. That's what I like. I think the moment I was like really turned off was when, I think it was in probably 2 or 3 years ago, they had this episode and there was this sort of like Donald Trump like character, and he like owned a hotel chain or something, and there were these spiders that were sort of taking over, and it was really weird. It just, I don't know, I think it was just too political. I think there should be political TV shows, but I don't know, I feel like with Doctor Who there's so much potential to make a show that's just completely different to everything else out there. And when you start sort of incorporating everyday politics into it, you miss an opportunity to tell a story that could never be done like in any other franchise. Because when you think about it, the cool thing about Doctor Who, in my opinion, is that the character can literally be anyone, anywhere, anytime. And so that to me is really exciting. You could literally make the Doctor Who. You could literally make the Dr. Russell Crowe in ancient Rome fighting lions in a gladiatorial pit. And you could make it work. You could actually make it work. There we go. I think my version of Doctor Who would suck. It would just be the Doctors sort of morphing into old films. Okay. Old unrelated films. I can't see the Doctor like just decapitating a lion. I can't see that. So I like this, but I want to add a little bit more detail to the shape, because this sort of trapezoid thing is just, it's a little bit too bare for me to really appreciate it. So I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to make it overlap again. So I'm not really sure where I'm going with this particular shape, but it's going to be connected in a way. So it's going to be like this. I don't know if I like that. It's let's zoom out and see it in full perspective before I make up my mind. Okay. Okay, do I like that? No. No, I don't like that at all. It does need something there though. I may even just carve into it. So I may add like a triangle or something. Ooh, that could work. Yeah, I've got an idea now. So I'm going to go like this. And I might even extend this particular shape. So let's remove... Not sure about this little line here. So So what angle is that? Okay, that looks a bit better. Cool. And then what I'll do, I'll have this thing bending down like that. Try and decide how long or how far I want it to go down. Yeah, what I'm thinking, because then what I can do, I can make this shape sort of extend around here and sort of fill that negative space. I'll go like so. I feel like that's becoming my catchphrase. Go like so. Makes no sense at all. Yeah, I've gone too far, haven't I? Let's do this. So let's sort of decide how far I can go in, and then let's make the object match that. And then I can do something really clever and bend it around like that. Whew, time for a stretch. Sometimes your neck gets kind of creaky and sort of sore staring down at the iPad screen. So I'm going to take this opportunity to simply promote something. What should I promote? Let's promote my pouches. So I actually make these really cool designs for things like bags, backpacks. This one is called the stained glass pouch, and there's two different variants, like a feminine and a more masculine one. It makes a great pencil case makeup bag, and it's made from spun polyester and durable denim on the interior. It uses vegan-friendly materials, so if you really like it, check it out. It's on mlloydartist.com. If you don't have a lot of money and you want to support me, one of the best ways you can do it, and you can actually learn something really cool at the same time, Skillshare. So I actually have a Skillshare course, and it's called Create an Augmented Reality Sketch in Procreate. And there you'll actually learn how to draw some really cool things over the top of your photos to make them really pop out and stand out. Great for things like Instagram, maybe ads, maybe you're just looking to make something that really grabs people's attention. And yeah, if you scan this little QR code, it takes you to a link on my website, and that code will then, or that link, sorry, will then give you 1 month of not just my course, but 1 month of the entire Skillshare platform for free. And so you can actually learn all sorts of things like photography, music, film, business, marketing. There's all sorts of cool little trainers out there with some nice little tips and tricks. So that's something to explore. And let's return to our sketch here. Let's go to a different overlay. Add a bit more fun. This one kind of looks a bit more in alignment to the actual sketch that we're doing. So we might stick with this one. What do I call this one? I think I call it triangles. Rainbow triangles. There we go. I always give my overlays names, and I think they deserve names. Cool. But yeah, feel free to follow some of those channels if you're curious, or if you have any questions, you can let me know. If you follow me on Instagram, it's probably the best way to connect with me. If you have like a question, if you want to reach out, I'm very proactive on Instagram. So just because I tend to use it a lot, but I'll try my best to sort of answer other outlets as well. Okay. So it seems like I've sort of made, almost unintentionally, a sort of ramp that goes, that sort of tucks underneath the shape there. I'm not sure if I like it, but I don't know, it kind of works as well. I'm sort of just playing around here, experimenting with lines and shapes in the hope that something really cool will come of it. Okay. So if you're enjoying the stream, remember to follow. That really helps me out. So I'm basically aiming for affiliate. There are better goals that you can have, but affiliate sounds like a good one because then I can make badges and things like that. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to give me a follow, and then you'll sort of see when videos are uploaded. Not follow, what do they call it? Subscribe. There you go. I'm losing my mind. My lingo is going out the door. Okay, I think I'm going to go like this. I've decided to sort of extend this cube out a little bit underneath. I've decided, it's not set in stone. I'll probably change my mind in a few moments. But yeah, I don't know, kind of works. It feels a little bit too connected to the object ahead of it, but yeah, it's certainly something. Let's go. I feel like it needs one more thing, something to make it a bit more interesting. And if I've got this cool idea where if I go like this, it's not quite, it's actually very round, that, isn't it? But if I go like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going for a straight line or if I'm going for a round line here. The idea is I kind of want this line to line up with that. Doesn't have to be too perfect, but just enough. Just to create a bit of, I don't know, intensity. That's how I see it. It feels more intense when you do things like that. Feels like a bold play trying to sort of connect the lines like that. Even though this isn't a game, it's just art. Okay, sometimes I feel like I go into weird mindsets when I draw. I wonder if everyone's like that. Let me know in the comments. Okay, I might just continue. Do I want to continue it like that? No, I think it's too intricate at this point. I'm going to leave it like so. I might add some detailed lines to it later, but so far I'm kind of liking some of the additions I've made to this. I think it'll look cool as a mobile background. Still unsure about this. I'm not really sure if that's kind of the direction I want to go in. I can always play around with that later, but I feel like it just needs something to kind of, well, actually that could do it. Ooh, I kind of like I like that idea. You know what, I'll do it properly. Let's go. Sometimes that happens. You just sort of start experimenting. When you return to something, you often fix it, I find. So I'm kind of, my goal is to have sort of like a weird block that kind of wraps around the this sort of cylinder. Like that. And then what we can do, we can erase this part of the shape. You know, I didn't realize it, but I actually still have this cylinder thing, so I could have I could have actually used that as a guide. But oh well, that doesn't matter. What I will do though, because I don't like the way this line, this sort of texture line, is sort of interrupting. So I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm just sort of tidying up a bit now. I'll polish this off a bit. And let's see what it looks like if I get rid of this line that's sort of running down the middle. What I could also do, I could add some lines going from this direction to sort of emphasize that curve. And I think that'll make it look a lot better actually. This line isn't quite right. I'm going to fix that now. Watch me struggle as I get this curve. The big time struggles. Okay, we'll go like that. You know what? I think that's made it much better for me. Like, it feels more aesthetically pleasing. There was just something about it that was maybe too simple. I'm even thinking of adding a similar thing up against this part here. I'm not too certain of that. So what I'll do, I'll start adding some detail lines. Some people call them like cross-hatching, or I don't think it's cross-hatching though. It's something else, isn't it? I heard someone call it line shadows, and I don't know, because I don't really see them as shadows. I see them more as kind of textures. You decide. You decide at home watching this. Or maybe you're at work watching this. Where do people watch this stream? Do they watch it at work when they're sort of just faffing around when they should be doing work, but they're doing this instead? Or do they watch this at home, chilling out at night after a long day at work? And that's what I hope. That's kind of what I designed this stream to be, a place where you can just chill out after a long day. Because that's what art is for me. It's a way to zone out, just relax, and really, sometimes your mind goes in places when you sketch as well. It's yeah, I kind of love the idea of this stream being a place where people can just chill out. That to me would be an amazing accomplishment for my stream. There we go. I'm sort of just carving into this line here because I'm still not quite satisfied with its curvature. I can always fix this off stream as well, but what can I say? My OCD is getting the better of me, and you're all just gonna have to tolerate it. Let's get the same line shape. I think I did that pretty perfectly, just a little bit more. Yeah, cool, awesome. So let's go like this. No, a little bit less. There we go. Cool. We'll start from both ends just in case I kind of fuck this up. I'm trying to swear less on stream, but what can I say? My I feel like my working class heritage fails me a bit there. Oh well, what can you do? You're on Twitch. I'm sure you've heard it all before. Probably a lot worse than that. God, you should hear me play video games. This is why I've started an art stream. If you hear me play video games, you'll hear some awful language. I've been playing Brawlhalla recently. I always play sort of Brawlhalla, to be honest. It's one of those games I always return to because it's just so much fun. And for those who don't know, it's sort of like a Super Smash Brothers clone. But I kind of prefer the mechanics of it a bit. It's a bit more simple and therefore maybe a little bit more focused. But yeah, each character has like 2 weapons, and so there's heaps of weapons as well. So like there's like a cannon, a sphere, sword, there's guns, there's this weird orb thing that they introduce, which is kind of cool actually. It's got some cool moves. And what else is there? I'm sure I'm missing a few there. I mentioned sphere, there's axe, and then there's this weird sort of, I don't know what it's called. It's like, it's not like a toboggan. What is it? It's like certainly not a toboggan. It's I think it's a lance. I think that's what they call it. And a lot of people say that weapon's massively overpowered. I don't know. It does. The game feels easier when you use it. I will say that. But a lot of people who are really good at the game say it's actually quite a balanced weapon. I'm not sure. I can't quite decide. I'm sort of on the fence about it. But yeah, each character gets their 2 weapons in a sense. So each character has 2 weapons. But a lot of those weapons are actually shared across different characters as well. But it's hard to describe, but it's the way in which the weapons work is really cool. So just like Smash Brothers, you have your sort of power moves and your light moves and your air moves, if that makes sense. But it's just really cool. It's a great game. It can get pretty toxic though, because I think people get really impassioned by it. And you know what? Fair enough. Like, it's a really fun game. Like, I adore it. I've been playing it for years now, but I haven't actually improved at all for the last couple of years. I feel like I've peaked. I can't get better at it. And I think I've become happier knowing that I've peaked, which is kind of funny. So playing the game and peaking at it has sort of made me a lot more comfortable when I sort of get just my ass whooped by these like people who are probably a lot younger than me as well. But yeah, like it's a really fun game, and I do love it. And I have a respect for it. I think it deserves more credit. But it has a pretty big player base because it's sort of cross-platform now, and it's sort of on Twitch and not Twitch, Switch. Can't confuse those two. But yeah, it's got a pretty big player base now, and because it's on Switch, it's on PS4. That's what I play it on. It's on what else? I think there's also Xbox, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I like it. It's a good game. I recommend it. But just be prepared to suck at it for a good couple of months and get your ass whooped, because it's definitely one of those games. There's certainly a learning curve. If you have like a mate you can play with and learn with them, I would recommend it. I'm not sure if I really want to add lines to this part of the sketch. Not quite digging it, so to speak. Okay. I need a drink. Okay, let's do it. Oh god, I made a really massive slurping sound there. How embarrassing. But it's to go with the amazing orchestration of my creaky chair. I'm creating soundscapes here at M. Lloyd Artists. It's not just sketching, but soundscapes. You know what? I don't like this line thing I'm doing. I might create form when I add color to it. So I've only got a little bit of empty space left. I was actually considering changing this shape here because I didn't really like that last time. It's all right, I guess, but it's a bit boring. I might change that to something else. Now I'm also thinking of selecting a different color as well. This orange and pink. It's okay, but I know it might be a bit boring. So I'll probably experiment with colors a bit there as well. But for now, let's try and fill in this last bits of the sketch. This last empty part of the section. So there's a lot of blocky shapes. So I kind of want to do something similar to what I did over here and add some kind of cylindrical, more sort of roundish kind of shape. I feel that'll balance it out a bit more. So I'm sort of playing with contrasts here. I don't want to have too many of the same elements in the same area. I'm kind of like that with color as well. So what kind of shape should I do here? You know what? I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna create just a simple kind of line block there. And this won't make a lot of sense. But I'm going to sort of add things to it. So I'm going to augment it with other sort of smaller, different kinds of shapes. Very cool. Well, I hope it's very cool. Let's find out. I might change the direction of this block a little bit. There we go. And then I shall maybe extend it out just a tad. There we go. Where would I be without quick shape? Quick shape is this cool feature where if you draw a line and you sort of hold it down, it just kind of snaps to a straight one. And I've become so addicted to it, it got to the point where I was actually drawing on some newspaper about a week ago. And I was sort of just drawing a line. And with an actual biro, I sort of held my pen down on the paper, expecting it to actually snap into shape. That was the dumbest moment. And someone was watching me at the time. They were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. I've developed habits." Okay, I'm going to add another layer here. The more layers you add, the less destructive your workflow is, and you can kind of have a bit more flexibility. I'm thinking of sort of adding elements to this block, but I don't really know what type of elements. Do I want to add maybe a circle like that? tough one. I can't quite decide. The pressure's on for no reason at all. Okay. Let's copy that, we'll paste it, just to keep that sort of consistency, like that. And I'll bridge these two together, like so. Then I'm going to go to my previous line. I'm going to get rid of that line, those lines that wouldn't be visible. And then I'm going to go into wherever I did that that block, the foundation block as I like to call it. I'm going to get rid of the line there. And then I'm going to go like this, and hopefully this starts to look cool. But it might not. Okay, let's get rid of this line. We'll see if we can make this shape kind of merge into this foundation block line. I tend to lose track of my layers every now and then. When I add too many, I kind of lose place, and I kind of go, where is this little black dot that I'm trying to erase? I think I'm doing okay now. Yeah, I like that shape. That's kind of cool. What I might do, I'm going to cheat a bit because I want to have some kind of uniformity to this. So I'm going to merge those two together. In fact, what I'll do, I'll merge a lot of these outlines together, just like that. And then I'm going to duplicate this particular section. So if I grab 3 fingers down like that, well, I notice I'm drifting off cam, there we go. We'll go duplicate, we'll move it up. Now because the line I think gets a little bit smaller as well, we're going to have to just slightly adjust that. And I'm going to make it probably about there. Cool. Well, I think this is cool. I hope you guys do too. Yeah, if you're liking my stream, consider following. I'm trying to get to 50 because I want to make those badge things that everyone goes on about. I've never made those before, but they look like fun. Yeah, I don't so much care about the subscription stuff. I'm just more, I'm just really keen to make emojis and badges and stuff on Twitch. That looks like too much fun. Let's copy that. There we go. Yeah, I like this shape. This is cool. I'm glad I did this. I might actually move it a little bit better. Yeah, I need to decrease the size. That's what I'm forgetting. Okay, let's just a little bit more. Now, I'm careful not to rotate it as well, because when you rotate things in Procreate, it kind of smooths it out a bit. It sort of makes it, I say smooth it out, it kind of, the interpolation stuff makes it all blurry, so you kind of don't want to do that. Not too much anyway. You can sometimes get away with it, so it depends on what artwork you're making. But for those who don't know what I'm talking about, interpolation is, God, how do I describe that? Oh, I've done it now. Interpolation is, it's sort of like the mathematical algorithm that is used to reorganize pixeled objects in your as you move them about. So as you transform things, as you rotate them, the algorithm to actually reorganize those pixels into a different shape. God, I hope I did that terminology justice. But yeah, but you can actually adjust the interpolation settings when you go to transform and you go to this little bicubic option. So bicubic I think is generally the preferred one with Procreate. They say that's generally the best one, but it sort of depends on what you're doing as well, I think. Or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But that's the one I tend to prefer anyway. Okay, I like where this is going now. I'll add once again some more detail to it. I'm thinking of finishing the stream maybe at 11 It's kind of weird. I'm suffering. I say suffering. It's probably a bit dramatic to say that, but at the moment, I'm struggling with daylight saving. I keep thinking it's like an hour. I keep thinking I'm doing things too early, but I'm actually not. I'm actually doing it too late. And I feel like this 1 hour has kind of stuffed up my sleep pattern a little bit. And it usually doesn't bother me, but because it might be the fact that we're in lockdown. I think that could be it. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just being weak. Okay, let's take a drink. Okay, I like this cone actually. That was a surprise. I wasn't really thinking of it, just sort of fit, but I wasn't actually expecting it to work at all. Let's try and get a line that's close to this one. That's pretty good. And let's add some, I like to call them texture lines, but I'm starting to think like shape lines is a good description of it, because that's kind of why I put them there. I'm trying to really emphasize the shape of the object. There we go. Cool. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not going to be too precise about that one. I think that's okay. I will add some details to maybe the interior of this, but I'm not sure if I want to go lengthwise like that, or if I want to go maybe upwards. Oh, I can't decide now. Decisions. I feel like upwards is interesting because it's sort of, I've got a lot of horizontal shape lines, so I think contrasting it with some vertical ones would be quite nice. So every now and then my neighbors just, because my neighbors have their toilet window right next to my, the window where I'm currently streaming. And I swear, all they do on the toilet is play TikTok videos. So every now and then you just see some beating tunes from, with all this reverberation in their toilet. It's kind of crazy. Okay, where are we up to? How's this looking? If you're watching this, what do you think? Do you think it looks okay, or do you think it needs something? I don't know. I feel like the part of this sketch that is most disappointing, it was sort of the part of the last stream that I added, but that makes no sense. So the last part of last stream where I worked on this, I added this shape and I added this one. And as much as I like this shape, I feel like it doesn't quite work in relation to the overall composition. It needs something. And I'm wondering if it's going to be as simple as just adding a little thing like I did here, because sometimes just adding those little augmentations can really fix it. But if I do that, it kind of then cuts into this shape here, and I don't think that's going to work very well. So I don't know. There's something about this that there's a lot of parts to this sketch that I absolutely love. I love what I've kind of done in this area, and I do like this area now, and I've always kind of liked that. But these two sections are annoying me, and I feel like I'm going to have to make a decision, a bold decision, to like either erase it or maybe change it and augment it. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to augment this shape a little bit. So what do I do? Questions. Let's go like this. I'll just sort of start doodling on it. And these shapes might not actually make it in the actual final thing, but the reason I'm doing it, I'm just kind of experimenting and seeing if it adds anything to the form or the overall composition. But I suspect I won't like what I'm drawing here right now. Although actually, it's interesting. I'll give it that. what happens if I try doing this again? So I'll go like that. It's sort of like a weird comb. I don't know. No, I don't know. I still don't really like it. It's something about it which is just really annoying me. Although actually, I think I've just fixed it. Yeah, I know what to do now. Cool. I know how to fix this ridiculous shape. I'm going to erase this. And then I'm going to have this line like that. And what I'll do actually, I'll add another layer on top. And I'm going to draw one straight line all across the way like that. Now, yeah, no, this will do. This will work. I think. Let's get rid of, because I'm also not really happy with this shape for some reason, and I don't know why. I've never really been happy with that particular shape, so I'm going to fix that. Let's get rid of that. And it's looking a bit choppy at the moment, but that's okay. I feel like I'm kind of aware of what I'm doing now. That was weird. I feel like those two undo stages just kind of merged together. We've got Dr. O in the chat. It's a pleasure to see you, Doctor. How art thou? Or how art thee? Thee as well. I think I'm trying to learn Shakespearean, but my friend Spinsy the other day told me that I actually am doing it wrong, because I kept saying, how are thy? Or how art thou? But he was like, no, it's thee or thy. Or I would use the word thy in reference to myself, but it actually wasn't. Thy is actually you, and there you go. I'm good, double vaxxed and ready to hit the town. Well, that's interesting. When did you get double vaxxed? Because I actually got my double vaccination just yesterday. I'm not feeling any side effects or anything, which is cool. But people say that sometimes you do. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I hope you're fine. There we go. But yeah, it feels good to be double vaxxed actually, because it's just that peace of mind, you know, like if something does happen, it's a very, very low likelihood now that you're going to have any weird illnesses. And I hope it does something for the transmission of it. Like I hope it makes the transmission of COVID harder as well. Because in my job, I do tend to sort of I do tend to serve a lot of people who have maybe, accessibility needs. And so I'm often concerned, I'm sort of concerned about passing things on to them. So I hope I don't. I hope having this second vaccination would reduce that somewhat. Yesterday too, a bit sore, but otherwise fine. I think I went to the same place you went to for your first one. Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, yesterday I went to a different one. So I went to my GP, and they did it really quickly. Yeah, I'm actually starting to wonder if they even did anything at all. I hope they did. I'm skeptical. I won't get a third vaccination just to be doubly, triply sure, but I'm not sure if that's how it works. But yeah. What do you think, Dr. O? This piece is kind of confusing me a little bit. It's actually going to be a desktop background, but also a smartphone wallpaper. So I'll bring up this little template thing here so you can perhaps see it a bit better. But yeah, essentially, in vertical, it'll be a cool abstract desktop wallpaper. And then on the side, it'll be a cool horizontal wallpaper, which is kind of neat. So I'm just sort of trying to get the right elements in shape. I'm trying to get the shapes in a good sort of composition. I like the design. It's really cool. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. There are certain parts of it I don't like. I'm confused about this area here. I feel like this is a bit boring. But other than that, no, I think most of it I'm pretty happy with now. Now that I've made a few alterations, I wasn't happy with it when I sort of finished it the last stream, but I'm kind of liking it now. I'm definitely going to change the color because I feel like the colors are a bit off. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge some of these together. Merge that as well. And I'm going to merge I'm just going to merge the whole outline together now. And then that'll give me the opportunity to just erase things a little bit more easily. Very cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I feel like what I need to do, I need to somehow change this particular shape because it just feels a little bit weird. I might just sort of start sketching into it and sort of erasing parts because it just looks a little bit too much. Oh, okay, what's going on here? Oh, look at this. I think it has occurred. My pencil has run out of power. Let's try charging it up. It's actually a good opportunity for me to get a little drink because I'm very low on the sustenance here. But yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to switch to a little intermission sequence. Forced break time. Yeah, I think the pencil is helping me sort of manage my health and manage my ability to sustain myself during streams. It's like a companion. It's like my mascot. But yeah, I'll be back shortly. I'll quickly go to intermission, enjoy my cool rockin' tunes, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in a few moments. Let's go mute and ciao. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I think my pencil will be charged by now, surely. It's actually one of the things I'm worried about when I'm buying a new iPad. I feel like the pencil battery is going to be so much better that my brakes are going to be all out of whack. Okay, what should I do? What was I doing? I think I was polishing this off, wasn't I? There we go. So I'm trying to sort of decrease the size of this sort of general, I don't know what you call it, it's a sort of weird circle whistle thing. It kind of reminds me of a whistle, like a coach's whistle. It's that kind of shape. Very good. Very good. Okay, let's go with that. Still a little bit thin on the top there. Let's add a bit more. I'd be hopeless as a hairdresser because I'd always like cut too much off and then I'd want to draw more back on. But that's not possible. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, let's see how that looks now. It's not bad actually. It's pretty cool. I feel like this particular line here isn't very consistent. So I'm going to erase it. I'm going to go like that. Just going to keep it. And we're going to draw a much straighter line. That was sort of a template line that I was experimenting with to see if it would actually look good compositionally. But yeah, I was quite happy with it, so I'm going to stick with it. Let's go like that. And then I'll definitely erase little bits in between there. Make it a nice thick line so it sort of matches up with everything else. So maybe a little bit more. Cool, lovely. Let's bridge all of that together. A nice straight line. And really, there's another problem I have here with this line is that it's actually not quite... Well, look at this. I've never seen this before. This is a new one. Look at that glitch. How weird is that? Oh, that's so weird. I've never seen that. I like it. It's kind of funky. It's fun. It's contemporary. I hope that's actually not going to be in the sketch. Okay, let's go like this. So I'm trying to make this line sort of match up parallel with this. But I'm sort of struggling to do that actually. Oh, you know what? That kind of works. That'll do. Let's sort of get that nice and smooth. Cool. What a weird glitch. I don't think I've ever seen that. I'll never be able to recreate that either. There we go. It didn't add it to the artwork though, so I'm pretty happy about that at least. That's kind of cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add something in here, like just like that. So I was mentioning earlier, I've almost finished Mafia 3, and I've got to say I really love that game. It's kind of funny. I felt like I was being convinced by the reviewers that it was a bad game after I sort of played it the first time. But now that I played it the second time, I've convinced myself that it's actually a fun game, and that I would actually recommend people play it. It's really cool. And so, as I've just recently purchased Mafia 2, I'm kind of excited to start playing that now. So that's the next thing on my agenda. But I think there's a truth as well though, that one of the things I loved about Mafia 3 was just the really dumb fucking graphics that sometimes break down and just sort of look just ridiculous sometimes. People glitching into cars, spontaneously exploding, always saying the same things. Oh, I think Far Cry 6 comes out tomorrow too. Oh, I think that's true, yeah. What day is it? It's It's either the 7th or the 8th. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia. It might be, I hope it is, it's probably the 8th, I think. I could be wrong. Let's find out. You know what, let's get out the old DuckDuckGo. And let's find out what time Far Cry 6 comes out, because I'm super pumped to play that game. I hope you can kind of decide not to take the rooster with you. Because the rooster looks a little bit extrovert for my kind of for my style. When does it come out? Let's have a look. If I go to AU, surely that'll tell you the AU date, right? Probably not. So you can pre-order it on the 7th. Oh god, I was a bit ambitious here. I refuse cookies. Available on the 7th of October. Oh no, there you go. It is the 7th, you're right. Cool. I shouldn't doubt they are. Neat. I'm excited. I hope it looks good on PS4. I think I'll hang out for reviews and sort of see if it looks good on there. But at the same time, it'd be cool to do co-op. I kind of want to try co-op on Far Cry 6. I think that would be really sick. Oh god. I think Procreate just crashed and then it couldn't handle Far Cry. It was too much. I'm going to close the app. Hopefully I haven't lost all my work. If I have, it's fine. I can just like, what I'll do, I'll take a screenshot of the video replay and just trace it. That's the other benefit of now streaming on Twitch. I can just basically use it as a backup system. Okay, some good water there. So what should I do? Wow, I really have completely changed this shape, haven't I? It's cool seeing the color just completely different to what it was. So it's kind of funny, I was planning on ending the stream at 11, but I haven't even touched color yet, and I feel I've still got like a little bit more outline to do. So if I bring back my my guide, I can kind of see what needs to be done. So I think, you know, it's kind of funny. I'm not sure if I really want to add more shapes or just sort of continue on with color. There are a few areas that kind of annoy me a little bit. Like this section here kind of annoys me, and also this one. You know, it's actually really funny. As I just drew that line to simply describe the issue I had with it, I think I just solved the problem. That was not what I... Okay, let's do that. Now that I've seen it, I feel like it solves all the problems. Yeah, that's kind of cool actually. I like that sort of swirl. Okay, we're going to do some serious altercations. So it's about finding that right curvature. Right, okay, so let's try erasing these little arms off, because I don't like that. I never liked this shape for some reason. It kind of, I say I never liked it. I clearly did at one point because I made it. But yeah, for some reason it just wasn't doing it for me. Now when I looked back at it this beginning of this stream, I sort of looked back and I went, yeah, you know what, that looks shit. I feel like you have to do that sometimes. So let's take this. Ooh, what I could do. That's clever. Okay, that's clever if I say so myself. I'm going to take this shape that I made earlier, cut in half, and then take the half that I don't like and put it in a completely different area of the sketch. Crazy. Let's go, and then I can add something really simple over here, maybe like a sort of disc kind of shape. Let's get rid of this sort of guiding shape I had over here. And let's take this sort of segment that I just hacked off the other shape. God, this is weird. What a turn of events. Who says art streams aren't dramatic? Big brain move, says Dr. Yeah, I know, right? God. That was a weird... Yeah, that was a weird turn for this art piece. I really wasn't expecting that to actually do anything or even work. It's my God. And it's kind of funny, all I did was sort of draw a line, and the reason I drew that line there was to actually point out that I wanted to change that whole shape. But when I saw the line on the actual shape, I was like, oh wow, that actually looks kind of cool. So that's what inspired the whole thing. Now let's see if I can kind of fit this in somehow. If I go like that, okay. Now it doesn't fit. But what I like actually is this kind of interesting sort of shape that's been created in the negative space there. I like that. And so what I'm thinking of doing is maybe distorting it, sort of pushing it in a little bit like that, so it does actually fit, but just not too much. I don't want to change the entire feeling of the shape. That's pretty cool. I like that. That fits relatively nicely in. And it's still interesting enough that, yeah, it kind of... I do wonder if there needs to be something here, but I could literally just go, let's get the right line. Let's go like this. I could just do something like that. Something very simple. And we'll see if it looks good. You can see I'm concentrating because I've just gone completely silent. And the talk of video games has just completely stopped. Very cool. It might be a bit thin. I think that's one of the problems I'm having with this little shape I've made. If I make it a little bit more stubby like that, might look a bit better. Yeah, that kind of smooths it out a bit. Okay, so now that I've done that, I kind of need to polish this particular shape off because it's looking very rough and very hacked, because, well, that's pretty much what I did to it. I basically cut it in half. It's funny, I start to feel sorry for elements in my artwork. I see them as little entities. It's okay. They're alive. They're well, they're not alive. They're completely dead. I'm thinking of doing like an oval shape, like that. It's kind of interesting. But what I'll do, I'll create that in a separate layer. And then what I can do is I can kind of warp the other shape to be more in line with the oval. So I'm going to go to liquefy here. Here's another big brain move for you, Dr. O. I'm going to go liquefy. I'm going to push this particular part of the outline in. So I want it to kind of fit the contour. You said liquefy is just for touching up. There you go. And then I'll actually move this little oval in just a bit. Might even increase it a tad. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like the shape that's created. Yeah, this is looking much better. I think now that I've sort of cut up that shape on the top corner there, it's looking really cool from sort of just stepping back and seeing the overall arrangement. I'm wondering if I'll actually get to color in this stream. I might not, but I think what I'll probably do, I'll probably color off stream. Oh, you know what though? It's going to be too much fun to not color it in on stream. So I'll probably, you know what I should do? I should have like a stream where I finish off sketches that I basically don't finish in the actual stream. So like maybe I'll work on something next Wednesday completely different. And if I don't finish that off, then I'll have a stream where I finish off like lots of different little artworks. Because I don't think coloring this in is going to be enough for an entire stream. So, okay. So what I'm doing, by the way, I'm creating sort of like a, how do I describe it? It's like a wireframe a little bit. So it's something I've only recently started doing, but I kind of like the results of them. And basically it just allows me to really easily get the sort of shape lines or texture lines, as I like to call them, in the right sort of in the right direction, in the right shape. Ooh, I'll make that a bit smaller, push it down a little bit. Is that fitting? I think that's fitting. Okay, let's duplicate that one. Move that up. And then we'll do it with the smaller one. I think that's this one. Oh, no. Let's find out. Let's go that one. Nope. That one. There we go. So I need to duplicate this. Oh, I've reached a limit of my layers. That's okay. I'm going to merge those. Duplicate that. Move it up there like that. So this little wireframe I'm going to just quickly refine here is purely to help me get all my lines in the right direction. That's all it is. And it won't actually be in the entire sketch at all. Sort of like 3D modeling a bit. I'm taking inspiration from that. So I've been watching these people do 3D modeling on Twitch. It's always really impressive. Seeing their stuff, it's always really cool. So taking inspiration from that, I found inspiration from wireframe models basically. Because I was like, I wish I could have wireframe models in Procreate. That would be really cool. And then, so yeah, what I'm doing now is I'm sketching those sort of lines, but I'm doing it with, I suppose, respect to the wireframe that I've just made. There we go. So it should all kind of still keep its form. Although this one I didn't quite do it there. There we go. Cool. It's getting there. I've decided to go from this direction with the lines because I did it from this direction on the shape below. So I'm trying to create a bit of contrast and a bit of difference. So I'm really excited actually on this project I'm working on. I can't remember if I shared it last stream or not, but it's actually, so there's this cool thing I did a couple of months ago called randomly generated sketches. And so I want to do it again, but this time I kind of want to refine the model that I use. So over the last couple of days, I've been conceptualizing this, how do I put it? I've been conceptualizing the random generator. So it begins with, so the idea is that this randomly generating sort of program will tell me to draw like a sphere or like a square ring, or like a tunnel, a cone, a blob. And so as I keep adding all these different elements, it'll then also tell me to sort of add sort of variances and changes to them. So I'm trying to work that out as well. So another thing I'm doing here, so even the way that you connect objects is going to be randomized as well. So it's not just about simply adding things. It could be like growing an object from another object, or using a membrane to sort of connect objects, piercing or engulfing. So I've made these kind of rules and this kind of weird language for my sketches, and I'm looking forward to sort of making the random generation thing. But the more I do it, the more I sort of realize that my art style has a bit more complexity than I thought it was. Yeah, I'm glad you think it's cool. It's actually really fun. It's really exciting. Another element that is incorporated is these things, well, I call them lines. So like you can have a block line, a square block line, a pipeline. This is what I call a bandage. So I'm trying to give names to sort of these common sort of sketching things that I do, or organic lines. I used to call them vines, but I'm liking organic lines now. And then there's things like this, which are lines, but they're sort of a bit more advanced. So this is what I'm going to call a tight, uniform, serial object pierce line. So basically, it's a lot of uniform serial objects that have been pierced by this line. And so, and this one here is a non-uniform object ends. So that means that the two objects at the end of the line are non-uniform. They're completely different. And I've got to figure out how to label the growth and the sort of also the connection towards those two things. So the idea is that eventually when I'm finished, I'll have this sort of random generation system where I don't have to think anymore. It basically just means that I can press a button and it'll go sketch this in attachment to this other thing, and it will all be something that I can sketch. There won't be anything really complex or crazy. But yeah, I've sort of been really enjoying it. It's sort of like a mass conceptualization of all the, no more big brain moves. That's true. It's sort of a mass conceptualization of or a deconstruction in a way of everything that I've ever sketched, and it's kind of fun. A lot of doodle blobs, for example, have found the elements of those have actually found their way into this, and so I'm excited to continue that, and I'll probably share a little bit of it on each stream, so I'll show my sort of progress as I go. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. What should I do now? I feel like I'm probably not going to color this in during this stream. I'll probably continue. Yeah, I'll aim for an 11 o'clock finish. But what I will do, I'll start adding a few more complications to some of these shapes to make the composition look really nice. As much as I love the composition of this shape in connection with those other shapes here, it's a little bit boring, and I want to add something that just makes it a bit more interesting. And I could kind of say the same about this section. It's a cool sort of play of negative shape, I think, negative space, but there needs to be something else there to make it interesting. So what will that be? That is the question. Okay, let's try. Well, first of all, we'll polish off this little shape here a bit, and we'll just add those little details. And I've realized that I kind of stuffed that up. Let's go. Did I stuff that up? Yeah, I did. I did stuff that up. This is sort of going like that. So I've got to kind of bridge. See, what makes this hard is that the angles are sort of going inwards like that. Because it's sort of, this side is a little bit like a trapezoid. That looks okay. That'll do. Maybe I'm thinking of cutting out a shape here, but I don't know what shape to do. I feel like I don't want to do a circle because I've got a circle right there, but I don't know. I could do a square, but then that might be a bit boring as well. I don't know. I'm struggling to think with that one. There needs to be some. I feel like a cutout is a good solution, but I don't know what shape to cut out. It's also the sake of this one as well. Like, what should I do here? I'm feeling if I go like that, is it a cool look? No, that's a lame look. What if I just do this? No, not that. A triangle. There we go. Speaking of triangles, that might actually be the big brain move over here. Something like this. What's going on here? I'm just pulling out all these different lines. Come back. There we go. Okay. Is that cool? I don't think that's cool. I think that's kind of lame. I thought it would work better actually, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I add another one like that. Is it too much complication? Maybe it is. I don't know. Let's try adding 3D elements to it and see if that looks better. What we'll do, we'll get rid of this one. And then what we'll do, well, we will add something circular. And we'll go like that. Yeah, that's just interesting enough, I think. It's not too interesting, but it's interesting enough. Cool. Do I want to have a shape there? No, I don't want that. So I'll add some details to those shapes in a few moments. But now I want to get back to this one. I want to try and get at least the general composition done before I finish this stream. So if I go like this, and the more I think about it, the more I feel like there needs to be some kind of connection between these two shapes. Even if it's not like a direct attachment, maybe some kind of, I don't know, suggested attachment. Like I'm alluding to some kind of connection between the two. Yeah, okay, let's go back to the original shape there. Probably gonna have to tidy up some of my layers. I think I've got too many. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have this continue into the sphere. It's gonna be really weird. Okay, now let's see if this works. It may not. Go like that. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Can't quite figure out how to make that connect. If maybe I go like this, maybe I can have something coming out of this shape. I feel like I'm onto something here. Let's give this a go. Nah, it doesn't work either. You know what? I'm just going to do something. I'm going to change my attack, change my my strategy. I'm going to do another one of these because I do kind of like that square cutout. That's one thing I like about it. So I'm going to keep that there like that. It's that kind of fun. That's kind of interesting. I might even add one more just like there. And there won't be too much of 3D element to that shape. Yep, that's cool. And then I just need one more thing on this weird oval thing. I'm sort of thinking about it a little bit like a pebble. So I'm going to add something to it. I feel like adding something is probably the right call here. Actually, if I undo that layer, I can keep that there. There we go. Cool. It needs something. There's a lot of circles in this particular part of the sketch, but I'm wondering if it's probably... Oh, here we go. This could be it. I'm going to add a layer on top here. In fact, what I'll do, because I realize I'm being a bit destructive here, I sort of drew that all on the same layer. I'm going to draw that circle again. This kind of reminds me of something from that Super Mario game, but I don't know what it is. It was this sort of weird pink thing in the second Super Mario game that sort of shot eggs at you. So I don't know what I'm thinking here. I'm trying to think of what that thing is called. It's sort of like a pink dinosaur thing. Okay, Birdo, that's the one. God, you're on the ball there, Dr. O. It probably looks nothing like Birdo whatsoever, but for some reason I'm getting that kind of vibe from it. Let's have a look. Does that look okay? Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. This could be a bit of a balls up situation here. But you know what? I like the way that looks. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to remove that outline layer. You know what? Now that I think about it, there's nothing about this at all like Birdo. But I don't know why that came into my mind. That's a really strange one. Or I feel like there's another weird hooded kind of thing that is in Super Mario. And I feel for some reason I'm getting that kind of vibe from it. Okay, let's go like this. And let's polish off some of these lines. Yeah, I'm liking the way this is looking. Let's add a bit more here because we've still got 10 minutes left. And yeah, I'm not going to add color for this particular stream. I'm going to do that another one. But I'm going to make another stream where I kind of finish off, right, maybe a couple of sketches. So I'll probably, knowing me, I'll probably finish this in a fortnight or something. We'll figure it out. Yeah, or maybe if I finish off like a doodle blobs relatively early, which will never happen because I get really big. I get into my doodle blobs. I really enjoy them. But yeah, if that happens, maybe I'll finish coloring this in. But yeah, I have enjoyed this. I do enjoy these kind of weird, abstract block drawings. There's something kind of satisfying about them, especially when you see them all together. And there's a challenge to making them kind of all fit from a compositional perspective in a way that's kind of sort of striking. Like, because one thing I always try to do, I always try to make it so there's lots of different sort of angles and directions and sort of, so particularly with the negative space, I try to have lots of weird kind of different angles and shapes created using that. And I think this is doing it pretty well. But yeah, I'll go like so. Let's add this. I think that's going to become my catchphrase. I mentioned it earlier, but I realized watching back some of my streams, I always say the phrase go like so, and it makes no sense. It's a completely illogical phrase, but I like it. It works. It works for me. M. Lloyd Artist. Go like so. Okay. Still a little bit unsure about this triangle actually. But I'm pretty confident. I do like the circle. I feel like the triangle just needs a little bit of work. Let's maybe try erasing it and just trying something, maybe trying pointing the triangle in a different direction. Ooh, let's get a thicker line there. Let's try that. Do I prefer that? Probably not actually. But if I get rid of this part, nah. You know what, the more I think about it, I kind of like it just empty like that. Decisions. I'll give the triangle one more go, but this time what I'll do, I'll have the triangle pretty uniform with the actual lines of the shape. There we go. And let's have it like that. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. A bit better. Let's try moving it. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure about the angle there. That could do it. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, let's fill in the details, and I think we're right on time for a good 2-hour finish. Really cool. Sick. And that's it. I think that's where I'm going to end the outline of my sketch. So yeah, from the perspective of a desktop wallpaper and a smartphone background, so hopefully this little overlay here, I'll actually change it so it looks a little bit more. Let's see if I can find a nice filter so it doesn't sort of distract from the actual image. I don't think I can. I don't think there is one. We'll go with that one for now. There we go. But yeah, like that's kind of how to look like as a wallpaper. So there's going to be lots of color there to make it more vibrant, but it should sort of give a nice kind of, should sort of look like your phone's filling up with abstract shapes. You like it? I'm glad you like it, Dr. O. That's good. That makes me happy. And definitely I'll sort of fill in some more color, that kind of thing. Still unsure which color schemes I'm going to go with. I might even try, I might even dedicate an entire stream to trying out multiple colors, so coloring it more than once. So I could actually color in the sketch in one form and then maybe make a few different colored variants of it, and sort of maybe we can have like a selection of these things, and we can maybe put them in the Discord for people to use, or make them as like a free giveaway for maybe a promotional thing. That sounds like a bit of fun. That could be a good thing to develop some followers, actually. That's a cool idea. I'll probably do that. But yeah, that's my sketch for tonight. So thank you all for those who joined. And remember, if you missed any of it, you can actually watch all of this directly on my YouTube channel. That's where all the recorded versions go. And they're also on Twitch for a little short while as well. If you want to find out everything about Lloyd Artist, the best place to look is my website, mlloydartist.com. And yeah, with this, you can actually, this pretty much shows you everything I do. So if you want to see anything to do with my live streams, you just hop to that big old live button. That's front and center, so you can watch, you can get a link to my Twitch channel, you can find me on YouTube, and you can even join the Discord, which no one else has joined yet, but maybe you'll be the first. You can even browse my products on my website. You can access that really cool Skillshare session that I mentioned earlier. Just know that every referral on Skillshare is like, I think, $10 towards me, which is pretty cool. So it's a great way to support me while also getting a cool educational experience as well. You can find out more about me. You can also browse those products. I should show you some of those. So earlier I mentioned my pouches, which are kind of cool. I made a spun polyester. There's cool 2 funky designs, one masculine, one feminine. But I also do like desktop wallpapers, iPhone cases, backpacks. I do tote bags, and I only really try to find products that actually have good build quality. So I always buy them, and if they aren't very good, I sort of just I don't actually use that particular hardware. So yeah, the manufacturing people I work with are really cool. There's even the live stream collection. So with this, you can actually see all of the different, so I say all of the different, every now and then I'll actually create a product on stream. So the first ever stream I did was actually an iPhone case, which you can actually buy on my website. Keep in mind all these prices are AUD, so if you're in America it's actually a lot cheaper, or anywhere else in the world probably. The Australian dollar ain't good. One of my favorite products is actually this live stream duffel bag. That's really cool. That was actually made with this funky pattern, which took me a while, but I really enjoyed it. And you can even buy a little t-shirt with my artwork on there, so that's kind of cool. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you get a little discount on every product that I've designed on stream, so that's pretty neat. But yeah, that's basically it. So thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and all the bots, of course all the bots. My name is M. Lloyd. I'm an artist. I am M. Lloyd Artist, and yeah, farewell to you as well, Dr. O, and farewell to everyone who's been watching. I'll be creating more content, so remember to follow me and subscribe to me on all the relevant channels, and you can also find me on Instagram at M. Lloyd Artist. So everywhere you look, I'm M. Lloyd Artist. You can even just search Google actually, and I don't know how, but for some reason the SEO stuff is working really well. So if you search M. Lloyd Artist in Google, you'll see pretty much everything I do, which is really neat. So that's me done. I'll say adios, and then what I'll do is I'll find some cool person to raid. But for now, goodbye. I'm M. Lloyd Artist, and I'll see you in the next stream. Ciao.